What's up? This is Derek.
Jamie Madrock.
Man, this your man's Obi Trice.
Zadlib.
Yo, what up? This is Specs One.
This is Fresh K.
Hard Rock's motherfucking Skot MC.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio out here.
This is Breaking Records Radio.
Check him out.
Breaking Records Radio and the place to be, you know what it is. It's your host Maloney, Obi-Wan on my side, and we got a special guest with us, Miss Divine Brown. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Maloney?
No, we're good, you know.
Good.
Just sitting here banging off interviews.
Nice.
But, so tell us a little bit about the new single you got right now, Love Alibi.
Okay, well, Love Alibi it's a little bit of like soulful house. It's got some EDM. It's dance. It's up tempo. It's fiery. And the song is about, you know, there is no alibi when it comes to love. So, you know, if you want to express it, if that's what you're feeling, then feel free to do that.
Yeah.
You know, no bars help.
And that's going to be dropping November 4th officially?
Yes, officially on iTunes November 4th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just, is that the only place you guys will have it for iTunes?
I mean, it'll be on most digital portals, but it'll be on iTunes for sure.
That's the big one you're plugging?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's coming up off your upcoming EP that you're dropping?
Yes.
And that's February 14th still?
Yeah.
Set to release?
Yeah.
Crazy Love Amplified EP?
That's
okay.
it. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Crazy Love Amplified kind of came from, I had released actually an EP called Crazy Love last year. But there wasn't any promotion. Nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
You know, so... and I thought it was a shame because, and I pulled it because I thought it was a shame that there was no, like, why put product up if no one's going to hear about it?
Yeah.
If there's going to be no marketing push, I'm like, you know, and it was sort of an extraction of some of the songs that while I was on a label that were said, oh, people said, oh no, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing here. And I'm like, rules are made to be broken.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna find the stuff that I really that really spoke to me, that, you know, that I felt was amazing to begin with, and push the heck out of it. And you know, I'm just really grateful that we have organizations like Ontario Music Fund and Factor, and, you know, all these different systems that artists can go to help and Star Maker even, to help with stuff like marketing when you know, when we don't, and labels go to that kind of thing, go to those granting systems as well.
Do they?
Yeah, for like Star Maker and Ontario Music Funding.
You were
for
on
sure.
Universal. Right?
Yeah, I was on both Universal in 2008. I was with Warner.
Oh, okay.
In 2005, I was with Universal, and then I went back to Universal in 2000 and I guess 2012. But that ended up being a huge waste of time. 2010, 11, something like that. Yeah, 2012. It was a waste of time.
So that's around when the internet started to take.
I think, you know what, there were a lot of things that were happening, a lot of shifts that were, and it wasn't even around the time that started, because when I was with with Warner, even with Warner, that transition was happening where the digital age was really starting to take over, and physical copies, like, companies were suffering because they weren't selling as many physical copies to make back their money the way they used to, which made them rethink how they would essentially make the money back from their artists, how, like, a complete restructuring of how they approach deals.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine and then not fine in to a certain degree, depending on the kind of artist that you are. Like, people need to leave artist publishing alone if they're writers, as far as I'm concerned. Leave the publishing alone.
Yeah.
Merchandising, it's like, you know, like, unless within the whole scope of a 360 deal, okay, you want to take a bit of merchandising, you want to take a bit of publishing, you want to take a bit of this, that. You better be willing to put the kind of money behind the artist to make sure that make sure that makes doing a 360 deal actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't want to do it. You got to let me know. Okay, yeah, this is this machine is what we're willing, if we're going to put this machine behind you, this is what we're willing to do for you. This is what really show the artist, this is what we are able to do for you, because we really believe in you. Otherwise, the digital age, the great part about it is that it really gives a lot of power to independent artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Independent artists who, where you don't have to think about giving up a portion of your publishing to a label, or, you just have the power to kind of do it the way that you want. You may not have, there are certain things that you may not have, but good music always finds a way to kind of just do its own thing and break barriers. And
people seem to find it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always been interested in breaking barriers and not going by the supposed rules that people put up, because the strange thing is labels change the rules all the time to suit themselves.
Yeah.
So why not break the rules? Why can't the artist do the same? I think that some of the more magnificent artists that have done amazing things, not just artistically, but from a business perspective as well, don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm inspired by them, and I know that I inspire other artists to kind of not be afraid to go out on a limb and do their own thing, and build from there, because then it puts you in a better position that when somebody does approach you, you've developed and created something so spectacular that you're in a better bargaining position.
Yeah, you know there's worth behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a big thing too. I find a lot of artists don't know their own worth.
I think that a lot of artists, you're right, a lot of artists don't know their own worth, or some artists do, but are afraid.
Yeah.
And I was afraid for a long time. I'll be the first to admit.
Yeah.
I was afraid for a long time to just go out there and say, screw this. But every time I've done that, or every time I've been in a position where I put, when I'm on my own, I put money into my own self or something like that, or I do things outside of that infrastructure, really cool things happen.
Yeah.
And not being afraid of that, and just continuing the momentum, is something that can be difficult. But I'm like, I can't live in fear.
Yeah.
I gotta just do me and follow what my gut tells me. Whenever I follow my gut, like I said, amazing things happen. So I'm really in a great place, and I'm really looking forward to the journey that life is going to take me on right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just to touch back on one of the things you said though, like I find that horrendous that the record labels are utilizing these organizations that are made for like independent Canadian artists to fund them. And you have major labels actually utilizing these.
I wonder. That's one of those things that I'm just gonna stop right now, because I would get frustrated, and there's a lot. It's interesting how the corporate world works when it comes to. It's interesting how the corporate world works when it comes to needing to get by, and needing to write off whatever it is that they need to write off, or whatever, and how it doesn't matter, because it's like at the end of the day, as artists, we're just numbers. There are very few labels that actually that have a track record of just honestly, wholeheartedly, really believing in their artists. And even down to, it's sort of even down to some of the granting system in the way that the granting systems, the way that they work here in Canada, even for the people that are supposed to be helping out the artist, when they see like the manager, for instance, where the artist hires the manager to help to further their career, or manage the kind of things that that would be harder for the artist to manage, only because true artists, like your artist just wants to create. And so handling some of the business end is as an extension of the artist is sort of, you know, it's essential. It can be essential, but what ends up happening, and I found in this country, is this all of a sudden it becomes opposite to what is actually happening. Like, you are being given an opportunity by the artist, right? You're a work for hire. You're being hired to do a job.
Yeah.
And somehow the ideology gets it gets twisted that, you know, that it's almost as if the artist should feel as if they are being hired.
Yeah.
The thing is, no, I hired you because I pay you 20% of my income, so I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that is just crazy, and that it becomes convoluted. But I think a part of the problem is, even when it comes to the granting system, the granting system is there for managers as well to utilize, to completely utilize, and utilize to the point where that becomes that becomes the focus as opposed to the interest of the artist.
Yeah.
You know, fulfilling a quota and fulfilling a number becomes the focus, as opposed to the greater interest of the artist and their talent, and being seen and heard.
And it almost goes around to contradict what it's even there for to begin with.
Yeah, it's weird, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to sit there and say that every single entity, corporate entity or manager is like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that impression, but it happens, and the problem, and then it becomes problematic in terms of how people are able to utilize. It's like, you know, when having access to that kind of thing, it's like it almost becomes, like, to some degree, some people can become really lazy as opposed to working your ass off to get to really get the kind of recognition for the artist that they deserve.
Yeah.
So like I said, like, I'm really happy being independent. I'm happy to be able to sort of take the reins of certain aspects of my career, to really sort of look at how all of those things can work in my benefit, like granting systems can work in my benefit to really, really help develop what I'm doing and develop me as an artist.
Yeah.
And then how to, and in a weird sort of roundabout way, how to finding these different outlets and these different ways to be heard and seen internationally. Because it's interesting how good music almost becomes like a virus. It just all of a sudden is everywhere, and you don't know what happened. So
as soon as it catches, it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like chasing the fire.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move a little more on to you as an individual. Not so much about the industry.
Yeah.
But well, would you change your name? You originally went by Divine Earth Essence.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason for the name change?
Well, Divine, it was just a representation of where I happened to be at the time, and I wanted to really sort of embrace my family name as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually won a Juno Award in 2009.
Yeah.
For the best R&B soul album of the year.
Yes.
What was that like to win that?
It was nice to be recognized. It was a great, it was an amazing accolade.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I should say that. It was a great accolade, but you know when you, like, it was like, really, for this record? So, not that I didn't think that was an amazing record, don't get me wrong.
But you're just like, I got so much better ones that...
Well, I mean, I was really proud of that piece of work,
yeah.
but also, listen, man, like, the self-titled record was fire too.
Yeah.
So I wasn't upset, but I was kind of like, Sean Desmond, huh? When that, in 2005. When
were you nominated up against him that year as well? Okay.
So when he nabbed it, I was like, And even Sean was like, Divine, I don't know about that one.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't, it just made me question, like, what is the, like the
criteria?
Yeah, what is the criteria? Like, what's the process? The judging process? I don't understand, because I'm sorry, but you know, I know what I was hearing versus what I wasn't hearing. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
And the
But
same
yeah,
goes with the Grammys too. It makes you wonder when you see who wins.
Sometimes, but then other times I love when the underdog gets something because
Yeah.
it's like, yes, like when Arcade Fire won that year for best, I think it was best rock group.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I love that because they were Canadian and it just kind of creeped out of nowhere. But it was a really good record. Like that project was really good
Yeah.
and well deserving. So for me, I don't know. Like but again, I love being recognized for my work.
Yeah.
And you know, being recognized for a body of work is always an amazing feat, and it always feels really good. So I was happy when I was able to take that home and put it on my shelf.
Yeah. Maybe they gave it to you that year because they knew they screwed up prior.
I hope so, you know, or maybe not. I don't know, but maybe it was well deserving because I did my thing. I think on both records. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and on the first record too, you had one of your biggest hits, right? Old School Love.
Old School Love, yeah.
And that was certified gold, that album as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that.
Yeah,
So how does it feel
like-
to go gold on your debut?
It felt amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was really, really good. Like I was really happy that it happened. I was just happy that everything was happening the way it was happening. It was just a really, really good feeling in general. I wasn't. You never know what to expect. I wasn't expecting anything. I just knew that I was really proud of that body of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was Old School Love the first single as well?
Yep.
Yeah, so it just kind of, you put out the first single and
Yeah,
it just took off,
kind of
eh?
took off. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible though.
Yeah.
And you toured a few years ago with the Backstreet Boys as well?
Yeah, during the Love Chronicles, that was, and that was really cool. It was interesting because I love working with a live band, but I in that realm I was working to track, but using dancers.
Yeah.
And that was actually a lot of fun, just being able to tour with my dancers and
All choreographed.
Yeah, all choreographed and doing our thing, and I worked my ass off to get the choreography together.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like,
Do you generally not dance?
why am I breathing so hard? And I work out, but singing and dancing is hard.
Yeah.
Even singing and movement,
I was
it's
going to say
hard.
singing and walking is hard.
Yeah, like it is hard. Like I work out, so for me to be like, oh God, it's you have to develop a coordination, the breathing and singing and movement. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Kind of coordination to develop. So, but it was a great experience nonetheless. But I love to dance. I love to dance. I just very rarely do the dancing and
singing simultaneously.
Yeah.
Is that a route that you would take again, like on future tours or shows, though, if you had the opportunity?
If the good thing about this track Love Alibi, because it's up tempo and because I have a really great like DJ producer team that produced it, like we can put a package together and have some dancers.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, we could tailor make shows specifically with having dancers. I want to crank out a couple more of these dance tracks with these guys to really push that kind of that kind of an outfit.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to tour with.
Yeah.
There's less expense when it comes to band.
Yeah.
Band equipment and that kind of thing.
Setting up in every single city.
Yeah.
All the equipment being traveled around and.
Even though don't get me wrong, like I will also I probably get more bang for my buck if I do like a nightclub gig with like an evening sort of bar-ish kind of gig or whatever.
Yeah.
With a band, and you can tailor make. The great thing about bands is that you can tailor make your stuff for a specific in a specific country.
Yeah.
And just hire the musicians out there, and then but then
And they kind of already have that sound of what's
and
cultural
then
there.
and then you can go to like a nightclub and like do a 2-song set, 3-song set and call it like with your DJ crew. So there's just a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of flexibility in terms of, you know, how I can you know, make my income.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And so with the new album, the Crazy Love Amplified EP, or sorry, I guess EP I should say, but is there going to be a lot more of the dance type of sound to it, or do you, what kind
It's going to be a mix.
Yeah.
I always, you know, I tend to like mixing it up.
Yeah.
And I like mixing it up because, again, like, you know, 80 Empire, those guys they're not only are they brilliant in the dance world, but they're brilliant in R&B too. Like, I've got some fire R&B. There's a lot of R&B soul on this project. There's pop and there's dance, and I want to, you know, I have to mix it up because
Collaborate it all.
Yeah, all of it is important. It's very, come on, like, there's this day and age that we're in, there's nothing, I don't think the word purist kind of works in this day and age now, because everybody's
kind of a mismatch.
Everything is being amalgamated in one way, shape, or form. Like, there's mixing of different sounds. Like, come on, Drake came out with you know, really reggae / dance hall, you know, meshed with hip hop, if that, you know what I mean. What does that sound like? Well, One Dance is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's freaking dope.
Yeah.
So, but that's been happening forever, like, you know. But I love when, you know, I'm proud of my Jamaican roots, so, you know, I love when I hear that kind of, and it's been sort of all, like, for a very long time, that sounds out of Jamaica kind of end up making, you know, mixing in with other sounds, and then it creates some really freaking beautiful music. So, but I love that. It's like, music is about that, like being inspired by other sounds and creating a different sound as a result. Yeah. So,
and those are some of the same kind of, like what you're saying before about pushing the envelope and being outside the box, and that's exactly what it's all about.
I don't think music evolves.
Yeah.
It naturally evolves, just like people. So it can't stay the same.
And if you try to make it stay the same, you'll get left in the past.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, why are you asking me to do what I did in 2005?
Yeah.
That was in 2005. I've grown since then, and I'm telling different stories now.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And so the Crazy Love song that we received, that one is also going to be on the EP too?
Yeah, that is on the EP.
Okay.
Yeah. It's again, it's a freaking great track. It's kind of reminiscent, that it was sort of like, okay, that was very Motown-esque R&B, soul, like really throwback, just but what you might have heard on my first record.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Is that from the Reza Brothers?
As well.
And they had the Commodore's credits and whatnot, maybe for the Motown flavor type.
On that record, well, yeah, they've worked with some. Listen, they've worked with everybody.
I seen Obi Trice on there.
Yeah, they work with a lot of different. Yeah, on their SoundCloud. Yeah, they do a lot of. They're just all over the map, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I love working with them because they can do straight up R&B soul. They can mix it up and do soulful house, soulful dance.
Yeah.
And they can straight up do some hip hop, like straight up hip hop records too. It's really great. I just love them. You know, they're just all around, and it's hard to find that, like, really, really sufficient in different, a producer that's really efficient and sufficient in all of their in different genres, and it all sounds really dope.
Yeah.
You know?
And are they producing a lot for you on the new EP?
They produced a good chunk of the EP, yeah.
Who are some other producers you'd be working with for it?
I worked with Bob Ezrin on one track, on a really sort of like very, very sort of poppy, big pop ballad.
Yeah.
Who's but I think it's mostly the Reza Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I co-produced a track with Andrew Martino. What do they call him? Marty Martino. He's the drummer from Why am I drawing a blank? What's the group out of here? They're sort of rock, hip hop, rap.
Not Down with Webster.
Down with Webster, yeah,
Okay.
the drummer from Down with Webster.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, I did something with him that was really sort of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's sort of like R&B-ish, but it's got this, it's R&B, it's a little bit of hip-hop edge to it or whatever. It's cool, like it's just, I really experimented
Yeah.
on the songs that I felt that were, like I said, that I really loved while I was recording stuff, you know, and that was sort of being like, it's not good enough, or it's not ready.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Wreckords brothers did
The bulk
80
of it.
Empire, yeah, 80 Empire, they did a good chunk of it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the Crazy Love Amplified EP, that's coming out February 14th.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right, and that'll be available on iTunes?
Yes.
And any other,
Like
wherever
yeah,
else?
wherever
iTunes
else,
is
like
where you...
yeah, everywhere, like any possible digital outlet.
Yep.
It'll be available.
Okay, and just let the people know as well how they can get a hold of you online or
Go to
contact you.
www.divinebrown.ca and all my social media is there. I'm like, you'll be able to catch my Twitter, IG, and Facebook handle.
All right, perfect. So before we wrap it up, thank you very much for sitting down with us, Divine. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Breaking fucking Records Radio.